Hey guys, it's Jacqueline and welcome back to another speed build in The Sims 4. Today I'm building a little suburban family home. It's really cute, I think, pretty quirky. I like it a lot. And this is on the lot in Willow Creek in the starter neighborhood that is empty by default. So I just wanted to fill up this lot because I'm actually doing a let's play here. I'm going to start one on my channel soon. I already have a founder made and everything. But yeah, this was the last lot that I just had to fill up, and I renovated the other lots, but those weren't really substance enough for videos, I didn't think, so yeah. But this lot right here, by no means is it a starter, by the way, so don't get that impression just because it's in the starter neighborhood. It's actually quite expensive, but yeah, I have some problems with making things cheap when they really need to be, and I just can't seem to do it for some reason, but you know, it's okay. Anyway, yeah, so basically this is just a house for a family of 4, I believe. Yeah, 4, because there's 2 bedrooms. Both of the bedrooms are pretty tiny, but I think you might be able to fit multiple kids in them if you really wanted to. But you know, regardless, that's who's living here in my mind. And there's not much to say about the personality of the family besides I thought that one of the parents, I mean, I have the family made out, but one of the parents in my mind is very like quirky and artistic, and the other one is sort of all business and very sort of serious, I guess. But I think they still work together nicely, like as a couple. It's not like they don't get along or anything like that. But yeah, that's who I pictured living here. And then they do have 2 kids, like I said. I thought one of them was a child and one of them was a teen, but you could pretty much make whatever life stages you wanted working here, really. So that's all to say really about the household that's living here. But anyway, yeah, so the outside of the house is coming together somewhat right now. I was trying to make it look like not super expensive. I don't know how well I did because I really can't help myself sometimes, but it definitely, like, it doesn't look outrageous or extravagant by any means, I don't think. I think it just looks a little not run down, if that makes sense. But I think once you get to the inside, the furnishing on the inside, it's a lot more clearly not really super fancy or anything like that, because there's a lot of different styles being mixed and matched together and stuff, which part of that was coming from my idea behind one of the parents really being very into, you know, unique things and individuality and quirkiness, like I said. But also I was thinking they didn't have like a ton of money. Like, it wasn't like they were flipping through a furniture catalog and being like, oh, okay, so we're gonna get this and all of these like tables and the chairs will match woods and whatever. Like, it was not like that. So that was kind of some of the reasoning behind the furnishing. That's my justification for it, at least, because I don't know, part of me when I was looking at it, I was sort of like, oh, this doesn't look very good, like looking back at it, but when I was doing it, I really enjoyed it. So I don't know, I think it just has personality behind it. It's not necessarily bad, you know, but you could say that about a lot of things, but regardless. Anyway, how are you guys? I'm alright. You might have noticed the significant lack of videos on my channel in the previous few days. I have been significantly busy with a myriad of things, but I do have some stories to tell, so most of them at least have to do with the myriad of things that I've been sort of busy with. But the first one is that a few days ago I went to a Dodie concert, and oh my god, like, I can't even tell you, first of all, how much I love Dodie. It's kind of a problem. It's like that level of obsession where you just know you should not care about someone that you've never met as much as you do, but you do anyway, you know? You experience the same thing with multiple celebrities. It's really a problem. I don't know why I get so connected to people like that. But yeah, basically, saw a Dodie concert and it was so good. I can't even tell you. I went with a friend of mine that I haven't seen in a while, and it's just altogether, it was a very good experience. But I do have some things to say, or one thing, I guess. Basically, while we were there, we were in like ground, like standing section, right, general admission, because we do not have money to buy like super expensive tickets, although it's Dodie, so she's kind of irrelevant. As much as it saddens me to say that, doesn't mean our tickets are cheaper, but yeah. So basically, we were in the general admission section, and we didn't really get there like early or anything, so we were kind of in the back, like, oh, what are we gonna do? We can't really see anything. So I mean, I could see decently well, but like, I'm sort of tall and she's not that tall, so it was sort of a problem. But basically we were like looking around, looking for a way to like work our way through the crowd and try to get to a place where we could actually see what was going on. And this was during the opening act, by the way. The opener was so good, in case anyone was wondering. Adam Melcher, I think his name was. He was very good. But yeah, so we were looking for like a way to get through, and it was just not happening for us, you know? And then we saw this little path that we could walk through, and so we were walking through this path, and we saw, like, we could basically see the stage, except for this one guy, super tall guy, standing there and blocking literally the entire crowd. Like, he had to have gotten there so early. I don't know what the deal with it was, but he had to have gotten there so early because he was standing there blocking the entire crowd, like right in the front, and so tall. Like, he must have been, I don't know, like at least 6 feet. And just why, you know? But besides that, we were like, so we kind of like acknowledged this. We're like, you know what, whatever, maybe we'll just not be able to see very well for the entire concert. But then we sort of worked our way through so that we were pretty much like behind him. And so at the break in the show, and she stopped singing for a little while, I could see what he was doing on his phone. We could both see what he was doing on his phone. And he was playing Temple Run. Guys, like, he wasn't even paying attention to the show, because the thing is, after she came out and started singing again, Dodie that is, not some like random person, he started playing Temple Run again. Like, he just didn't, so I don't know why he was at the concert. Like, what was his deal? I seriously have questions, so many questions, because he was playing, okay, first of all, Temple Run. Like, no shade to Temple Run or anything. I had my phase with being obsessed with Temple Run and playing it a large amount. That's kind of embarrassing, but I used to play Temple Run like a lot when I was very little. But like, Temple Run, seriously? And this guy was like middle-aged too, so in the first place, he doesn't really fit the like normal like demographic for Dodie, which obviously isn't a problem. Like, you can like whoever you want, you know, but like he wasn't watching the concert, and he was blocking literally everyone. And then I could see what he was doing on his phone, right? So when he wasn't playing Temple Run, he was texting someone in his phone named Gracie, kissy face emoji, and like the sparkly heart emoji. And I was like, oh, what is this guy's deal? Because just why? Like, I don't know why that detail about like the person he was texting is really relevant. It's not. I just thought I would share it. But like, why do you have, like, he knows he's tall, you know? You know you're tall. You know that you could see over literally all of us if you were standing in the back. Why do you feel the need to not be paying any attention and stand in front of everybody? Like, I seriously have questions, because I don't know how he managed to get to the front either. Like, he must have gotten there very early because everybody was trying to get to the front. And besides that, ugh, I have so many questions. So many questions, and it was very frustrating, because then, you know, basically everybody else is like, well, we can't see now, what are we supposed to do? But I seriously, like, I think there had to be something to do with, like, maybe he was security or something, but he didn't look like security, he just looked like a man that was standing there. And just so many questions. Okay, but anyway, now that I'm done with my so many questions, besides that, the concert was really fun. And it was so good. I can't get over it. I'm serious. Like, you know when you see someone, and I don't know why I'm saying this, because I've literally only been to 3 concerts in my life, and 2 of them are for Paul McCartney, which, not complaining, because like I really like the Beatles and Paul McCartney, but that fact sort of takes away from the relevance of what I was about to say, which is that I feel like when you see a person like perform live, suddenly your like love for them or their ability to produce music or whatever is like greatly increased, you know? And that's what I feel now. Like, I mean, I really liked Dodie's music before, but like now I like it more, and it's very annoying because I'll probably never see her live again in my entire life, and like, that's just a hard thing to think about, you know? Like, I got the same thing when I'm like kind of obsessed with musicals, so whenever I would watch a musical, I would always like be thinking, like sitting there thinking, well, I'm never gonna get to see this again. Like, I can't be one of those people that goes to see a musical multiple times. Like, how annoying would that be? I'll never get to see this ever again. And also, like, obviously expensive and stuff, because experiences cost a lot of money. But I do not regret it, obviously, that like it was so much fun. I can't get over it. I seriously can't. But anyway, besides that, another thing that's been keeping me busy is my math class, which is the main reason I wasn't like posting it all this week, is that I had a math test this week, and I know that's so lame. It's like, oh, I had a math test. Like, guys, I couldn't get any videos out. But like, basically, the deal here in this class that I'm in, it's pre-calc honors, and we are just not learning anything in the class, and it's so frustrating. And I hate to say that and sound so like, oh, we're not getting taught anything, like, man, my life is so hard, because it's like, obviously that's not that bad, but It's just that we are expected to know so much stuff that we were never taught, ever. And it would be one thing if they gave us a list of like curriculum that we had to learn by ourselves, but I literally didn't know half the stuff we were supposed to know was like things we were supposed to know until we got the study guide for the test, and they don't always make study guides for the test, so like if this is a reoccurring like motif with the rest of our units, then I'm just not going to know what's going to be on the test because it's not in the course book. It's not like that's very frustrating to me, you know? And even then, you don't know the like terminology for it, so like looking it up is kind of difficult. Teaching yourself is kind of difficult when you literally don't know what the type of math you're doing is called. So it's just frustrating, you know? It's sort of, anyway, so the point is that I was studying a lot this past week for that math test, and basically everyone I know in my class is pretty sure they failed. I am included in that list, which is unfortunate, but I feel like at some point, if everybody is failing, like it's a high school course, you know, like it's honors, but that's not even technically AP, like you're still supposed to have some level of teaching and high school aspects in it, but I feel like if everybody does badly, then maybe that'll provoke them to reconsider, but like it's not on a curve or anything, which is quite frustrating, but you know, it's fine. Like overall, do I really care that much? I mean, yes, because I'm sort of neurotic about my grades, but overall it really doesn't matter all that much. I'm just frustrated with that, and I wish that would not be the case. But the thing is, there's all of this stuff, like people are being so mean to my teacher about it, and he admittedly, part of the fault is his, but also like they're being very confrontational to him about it. This is my classmates I'm talking about, by the way. Like they're literally asking him and like getting in arguments with him over these things in the middle of class, and I'm like yes, we should just have these discussions as a class because it's important to consider the fact that like it might not be our fault that we're doing so badly, but also it's like this is time like right before a test or right after a test where we really should be taking advantage of the time. Like we just don't have time in that class to have arguments about whether or not the grading is fair or whatever. Like we need to be learning things, and regardless, I still don't think we would have enough time to like learn. The curriculum is pretty loaded, but there are several issues with that. I won't get into them because I feel kind of bad discussing it, but you know, it's fine. Either way, that happened. We're just moving on from that. You know, it's one of those things where you're like, yes, I failed this test, but I would much rather just think about anything else than think about how badly I did. So we're just not going to talk about that anymore. The other thing that's been kind of causing me to be pretty busy has been that for a community service club that I'm in, my friend and I are co-chairs on a committee, so we have to run the committee. And this week was apps for the committee, or written apps for the committee, or was the last week at least. We had, I think, 2 weeks for apps. Yeah. Wow. So anyway, basically, we are receiving apps and stuff, and we had to look through them. I sent out the emails today for who got through that round of it. We have to do interviews next week. That's pretty stressful. I am not very good at like talking to people, especially not when I feel like I have to be like a professional person, if that makes sense. And this sounds so bad because obviously like I have to be interviewing people, right? I have to be like the person that's the professional person and whatnot. But no, I'm sure it'll be fine. It's just that I get very nervous talking to people, especially when they have prior expectations of me. And so if they have prior expectations of me as this person that's like is very orderly and professional, I don't know how well that will go. But also I kind of want to keep it casual, you know? Like I want to be comfortable with the people in it and not have a super like isolated relationship or like power dynamic, because I just feel like that would be weird and not very effective for actually working and planning stuff, which is what we're going to have to do. But regardless of that, the point is that there was one specific application that kind of caused me some issues. So if you've been here for a while, you may have seen a video a while back it's about this girl that did some stuff to me. She was just not very nice. I mean, that's an understatement, but like basically I knew this girl. I was friends with her a few years ago, actually. Like all of this stuff that went down was several years ago, so I really should be over it by now. I pretty much am. But this girl, knowing that I was a co-chair for this committee, applied to it. And here's the thing, I don't want to bash her for that because like obviously I'm happy that people are applying for it. It's community service. Like I want people to be doing community service regardless of my personal issues with them. But the fact of the matter is that she knew I was like pretty much in charge of this, or halfway in charge of this committee, and she still applied to it, which caused me some great stress when I saw that. And the thing is that my other friend, this girl that's done all this stuff to me, is friends with my other friend, which like I don't have a problem with. They can all be friends with whoever they want, but she put no effort into her application whatsoever, and that is so clear. Like, other people were writing paragraphs to answer questions. She wrote a sentence for every question. I'm pretty sure every single question had like just one sentence to it, which that's not really how you go about filling out an application. But regardless, the thing is that I'm pretty sure she thought that because she was friends with this other girl, she was going to get in, like, regardless of the effort she put into her application. And that just annoys me as a mindset. Like, you should always try your best, you know? But besides that issue, I just am mad that I don't know, it feels quite audacious to me that she did that, you know? And maybe it's not, like, maybe I'm reading far too much into it, but we had, like, so much stuff happen between the two of us that was just really bad. I've talked about it before in a specific video. If you've seen the video, you have. If you haven't, I'm not going to link it or anything, because honestly it's kind of embarrassing, and I consider privating it frequently because I feel kind of nasty going around and like saying awful stuff about somebody else, no matter how true it is. But regardless, I just don't get where, like, the thing is, I don't even really have that much of a problem with her anymore. Like, I don't know her as a person. She could be very nice now, but I still feel like you shouldn't seek contact with someone that you had that much or that many issues with, because it doesn't feel good, you know? And I just don't really want to be communicating with her on an active level. And she's not, like, she didn't make it to interviews though, so few, because I cannot imagine sitting across the table from her and like having a conversation about her service, and yikes. But, you know, I just don't know. It makes me mad, and like, wow, how many times can I say that? And it probably sounds really insignificant, and you're all like, what is your problem? Like, she's just trying to apply for a committee. And I get that, like, I get the desire to apply for said committee. There's so many other things you could be doing that would be equally as beneficial. Like, the fact that of all of the things you could have done and applied to, my committee happened to be the one. And this sounds so dumb too, because, like, obviously I want people to apply to the committee, right? But just her, you know? It's kind of making me really mad. But anyway, yeah, so that made me really upset for some reason. I don't even know why. Just, like, I have so many issues with her, and like in the past I associate a lot of bad memories, bad turning points for my well-being as a person came like right around the time that I was friends with her. So I just, many issues, many things to discuss, but not here, not today. But either way, so that happened, and that kind of threw me for a loop there. But we're fine, we're gonna get through it, and interviews are gonna be over soon, and then everything will be fine. Just like take a deep breath, you know? It's just sort of stressing me out. It's not really stressing me out that much, because like at the same time as I'm sort of stressed, I'm very excited about the whole thing, because like obviously I care about the service and stuff, which is the reason I did it in the first place. But I don't know, this just feels like sort of a thing that is valid for me to get upset about. But on that same subject of interviews and my committee, basically I have to, like, obviously the people that I have to choose from are from my school, so it's like a lot of classmates and people that I know in real life. It feels kind of awkward to like say, like, reject someone from a committee, you know, and then have to talk to them in real life again. It would just be stressful for me, I think. But my knows a lot of people that applied, so I feel worse for her than for me. But it's just not an ideal situation. But then specifically, there are like some people that I know that applied that I feel like hesitant to let them on the committee, but it's not because of anything that's like in their application. It's just because, like, as a person that I've observed them existing in the school environment, I don't really like them. But the thing is that, like, or not that I don't like them or anything, because I don't really know them, so that's not fair to say. Just their attitudes generally, I would not really select them as a person based solely on that. But then also, like, you have to give them the benefit of the doubt, right? Because for all I know, they could just be acting like jerks to, like, be with their friends and stuff. but one person that applied, I just, like, I've seen them, I know who they hang out with, generally not very nice type of people, but also, like, as an individual person, maybe they are worthy of being on the committee, you know? It's a very difficult thing to say, and so it's just tough. And also, these are generally, like, people, especially some of them are, like, sort of on the popular side, which I don't really talk to those people ever, you know? Like, they basically don't acknowledge my existence ever. And now I have to interview them, and it's going to be very weird, I think, to be in that sort of power dynamic where I am technically the superior person. I'm sort of scared for that, but it'll be fine. Everything will be fine. Yeah, sorry. I'm just totally venting to you guys, because, like, you know, you can't let them see you sweat. Them would be the people we're interviewing, I guess. But, you know, you guys, it doesn't matter. I can let you guys see me sweat as much as I want. So yeah, thanks for being there. Moral support, my friends. Anyway, yeah, so that's pretty much that. It'll all be over soon, and then everything will be fine, I'm sure. But I don't know, that's kind of stressful because we're planning an event right now, and we had to do a ton of stuff with getting a place booked, which was very complicated, and there were all these issues with that. And then one of the codes from a different school, like a club from a different school, got kicked off, and he was basically a connection for us for, like, a ton of different things. So we kind of don't really have, like, certain resources that we thought we were gonna have. But enough about that, because I'm sure you guys are tired of talking or hearing me talk about that. Wow, I'm incoherent, I'm sorry. But anyway, I really have nothing else to say about my life, I guess. So back to the build, huh? Basically, this is the first kids room, and this one was for a teen, I thought. Or I guess it technically could only be for a teen because it has the vanity, or it could be for an adult, obviously, too. But it has the vanity, and so in my mind, this girl is, like, really cool. She's got purple hair, and she does, like, a lot of makeup. I thought she was really into, like, experimental makeup. So I liked that idea a lot, and I think originally I was kind of thinking that maybe she would have, like, a YouTube channel or something. But then I didn't have space in her room for the YouTube table, so we just sort of abandoned that idea. Or Sims Tube table. That's what it's called, right? Sims Tube? I never remember, because I feel like everything that's a parallel of something in real life, they just add Sims to it, like Simstagram and whatever. But, I don't know, whatever that thing is. I was thinking she would have one of those, but then I didn't have space, so I abandoned that idea. And then in this room, this is the kid's bedroom. Now this kid, I just thought that he was mean, you know? Like, not a very nice person for some reason. I don't know why, but I feel like I always tend to only make nice Sims, which is a problem of mine that I need to realize that I have and fix, because that's not reality, you know? Some people are just mean, and so that's what I did. This kid is sort of mean. I don't know, maybe he'll grow into a nice person, but either way. His room is basically pretty much green, and I was not really sure why, but there are a few things I didn't hear that I like. For example, the bed is pushed into that bookcase over there, if you can see it, or it's just sitting regularly against the wall, but the bookcase is, like, pushed against the wall as well. I like to do that pretty frequently, actually, because I think it looks really nice. It sort of makes it look like the bed and the bookcase are, like, built-ins or built together as one thing, which I like a lot because, you know, we don't have bunk beds, we don't have any of those fancy maneuvering types of things, but we can still have these, and they look pretty cool, I think. But, oh, speaking of bunk beds, by the way, I don't know if you guys have seen it, or, like, Parallax has sort of gone off the radar of the Sims mainstream conversation topics, but they've been releasing more videos, and I saw one of them. It's like a bunk bed, and they're resizing it and dragging it up and moving it around, and I am so excited. Like, part of me, every time I see one of these videos, I'm just waiting for it to be announced that it's some kind of hoax, because it sounds like too good to be true. Like, legitimately, considering I'm pretty sure still one guy making this. That's insane. Like, that's really crazy. And yeah, I'm very excited about that. I mean, obviously it's going to be a while until it comes out, because there's so much work that's got to be put into it, and you can't expect someone to dedicate their entire life to something that's not making them any money yet, because they do have to be alive and stuff. But it's very crazy. I'm pretty excited. I just have a lot of anticipation for that. I'm kind of worried, though, like, because it's getting so much hype, or at least it was at first, that it's not going to live up to expectations properly, and then everyone's going to get mad at the creator, which would be really unfortunate, because it seems like so far like a good game, regardless of whether or not it fits every criteria. But yeah, wow. I don't know how I managed to talk for that long. This voiceover was a real struggle. I gotta lie. No, I can't lie. This was very bad. I don't know if you noticed, but I had to pause talking like several times. I don't know why. I just was feeling really incapable this time for some reason, but you know what? It's okay. We did get through it. I think, sort of. But hopefully you didn't mind that too much. So since we are coming to the end of the build here, I wanted to thank you all for watching. If you made it this far, thank you so much. And if you like this house, it will be on my gallery page. My origin ID is Thatsjaylin, and that is it. Bye!